Zay Frank Killed My Channel is the title of this video by DG360. Zay, why are you being a dick to this dude? Let's see, what does he have to say?
To Dynas rocking it out and saying this man is a fucking genius. To Fingers saying some shit about me. He loves to, and I love him. I love Fingers. He can say all the shit about me he wants. It's the relationship we have. It's unhealthy, but we love it. We love it. It's very sexy. All these things that we do here on this channel.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta say this, dude. My dude. It's not just Zay Frank killing your channel. You know what else is killing your channel? Are the sound clips that you play. Stop playing sound clips. All right? It's just not cool. I guess it's for a specialized audience, but I don't like it. Still in all, Zay, why are you picking on this guy? I think he's pointing out how he gets like 0.2 of a penny or something, or a dollar or some shit. Ridiculous little bits of money. He got, maybe I think a total was like $36 total from reviewing some of your content and talking over your content, which a lot of people do out there. And you gave him some copyright strikes? That's really shitty. When do you stop being a shitty? I hesitate to call you a human being or a person, because I don't even think you've earned that much, that title. Oh, dude. Why are you picking on this guy, Zay? What's up with that? That's interesting to me. Because there are so many other people for you to pick on YouTube that, again, they play your content too, and they talk over it and laugh at it and hee-haw, and I'm fairly certain not all of them are demonetized. I could be wrong about that, but so why this guy? Is it because it's the 360? Is he 5 short of an Abrasix? Or do you just not like his bald head? What's up? I mean, you're not far off anymore, are you? So, you know what, Mr. DG360, I'm gonna throw you a bone, Mr. DG360. I'm gonna let you in on something here. Maybe, hopefully, you'll help me spread the good word. Now, by the way, my name is Kat Phillips. Katie Elizabeth Phillips. I hail from New Jersey, although I currently live in Florida. And I have a long-standing academic interest in occulted esoteric symbolism and psychology and cult psychology. And it led me a few years back to realize that Zay Frank is in a cult. He's in a cult that worships this thing called the Abrasix. Abrasax. Abrasix. And I'll show you a picture of it shortly. This cult is likely connected with Freemasons. It's also likely connected with the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis. I do think that it's a generational cult, as in it's been around for quite a few generations, and I think Zay Frank's family has been in this cult for quite a few generations. And here's the worst part. I strongly believe that this cult engages in incest and child abuse. As in, I believe that the parents sexually assault their own children, and then those children, and they turn it into a sort of a ritualized tradition. And those children will grow up and sexually assault their own children, and then those children will grow up and sexually assault their children, and so on and so forth. And for a few years now, I've been working at gathering evidence and thinking up the best ways to present it, because it's so much. It's a lot of evidence. It's a lot of things that you have to understand about occulted symbols and the philosophies behind them and some of the history behind them. And so it's basically like teaching the entire world, attempting to teach the entire world all of these understandings so that they can understand also why anybody who would willingly make repeated references to the Abrasics in the way that Zay Frank is making repeated references to the Abrasics, anybody doing that is in a coded, secreted, cryptic kind of way is how he's making reference to the Abrasics. Anybody doing that is likely doing that because they are engaging in the worst act you can commit, which is to rape a child and rape your own child. And so let me show you some of my content really quickly. Mr. DG360, you seem like a fairly cool guy. You look like you're just trying to make a living, an honest living. By the way, the whole, the joke about the 360 thing, my dude, is because the Abrasics, the numerology associated with the Abrasics is 365. That's because in Greek, the name Abrasics in Greek lettering, the gematria, the numerology behind that, it adds up to 365. And he's a solar deity. And there are 365 days in a year because that's 365 times that the earth goes around the sun, right? So he also adds up to 5. Because if you add down, in numerology, we add down large numbers. So if we add 3 plus 6 plus 5, we get 14. We add 1 plus 4, we get 5. So 2 of the main numbers associated with the Abrasics are 365 and 5. But then we also will get, there are some other numbers like 8. And we'll get into that shortly. But let me just show you some of my content, my dude, Mr. DG360. Hopefully you'll help me spread the good word about this dick. Zay Frank. I would say I'm going to point out some of the stuff that you should pay attention to because some of this is like personal shit and you shouldn't bother with it. Here at the top right here, no, Zay Frank's not in a cult. Nah, definitely not. That's an example. That's me giving an example of a gang stalker. So since I first began pointing out Zay Frank and his family and his associates like Jonah Peretti and Chelsea Peretti and Jordan Peele. People like that are also a part of this cult, in my strong opinion. I've also been gang stalked on my YouTube channel by people like this jerk off at the very top here. Goes by Bummers Abound. But then I will also point you in the direction of, so for example, right here at the top, Zay Frank and the Western Cult Update version 2. So that's the beginning of a slide presentation. It doesn't have sound for it yet, but it's got some written out slides and it's got images where you can start to get the point of what I'm trying to get across, what I'm saying. I would have a look at that really quickly. Because I'm starting to make connections there between Zay Frank's content and occulted symbols. So for example, Zay Frank has one episode called The Kitten Snake, right, about ermines, stoats. He's making a reference to Yaldabaoth there. Yaldabaoth is a Gnostic deity. It's been around for a while, and it's got the head of a lion and the body of a snake. It's another face of the Abrasics. This is another version of that, earlier version of that. So you can see here, Zay Frank has what's called a celebrity duck. It's a rubber duck that was fashioned to look like him. Yeah. And, that's also the way it was designed, was to look like a typical depiction of the Abrasics. And I make that connection there in that video. You can go watch it. And then I would skip all the way back. Again, some of this is like personal content, or it doesn't have really enough information, hard information, for you to bother with it. So if I were you and you want more information on how Zay Frank is connected with this cult, I would go back to spring of this year, 2024, and spring of 2023. This one has a little bit of information in the Western cult and serpents and vortexes. But I would go back to stuff like me talking extensively about, so roughly about 7 months ago. Coming up on it. Oh, here we go. I'm talking about the connection between a lot of my suspects. Zay Frank is not the only suspect I have. He's just the first suspect I identified, so he's the one I talk about the most. A lot of my suspects seem to be of German descent, German origin. He also has these hidden frames in his videos. I found this one of David Katavi. So these two videos at the top are talking about that. These two videos are probably worth watching. The Western cult symbolism and media, and you gotta be some kind of asshole. So that's me talking about some of the symbolism in certain like popular films like The Beguiled. Here we go. Zay Frank's kin snake, Eldabaoth. So here we go right here. So this is about 7 months ago. I would watch this one at the top. I would also watch the Zay Frank Rubber Ducky is actually a demon called. So that's a short clip of it, but the longer versions are right down here. In Zay Frank Gave Me Crabs. I would watch all of those. That really breaks down a lot of occulted symbols, what they mean, and breaking down modern day popular media and videos, movies, and showing you how these occult symbols are hidden in there. And so this is a network of people that create content. They're operating in Hollywood, and they have a very specific belief system, and they are incorporating that belief system in the form of symbols into the media that they are creating. Zay Frank is just one of them. But, I can't stretch myself too thin tackling all of these people, so I just tend to try to just focus on him. Although I am, and a few other suspects that I have. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop going over all this stuff, but yeah, basically the Abrasics, what I would really focus on, if you want an idea of why the Abrasics means child rape, and specifically incest and raping your own children, I get into it right here. I show a clip, a frame that's, from this presentation video there. But here, Zay Frank and the Western cult, Abrasics and pedophilia. I explain how the Abrasics means embodying the full spectrum of innocence and evil. And to be pure, we've all already been purely innocent as babies, but if you want to be purely evil, that involves raping your own children. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. All right, so I just thought I'd throw you that bone, guy. All right, I thought I'd just let you know that don't feel bad. It's not a you thing. It's a Zay Frank thing. It's a Zay Frank's a piece of shit thing. All right? And in all this time, he's acknowledged, by the way, in little ways through his videos, he's acknowledged that he knows about me, that he's paid attention to my accusations. He has done so only in very cryptic ways. He's not brave enough. He's a total coward. He's not brave enough to actually even come have a face-to-face conversation with me. At this point, if the accusations I were making against him had held no water, he would have done something about it. He went out of his way to give you 2 copyright strikes for talking about his content. Right? But he still hasn't gone out of his way to do really anything about my accusations. against him, right? He has not denied them, and neither has he agreed, but he has given me several hints and clues that he knows he knows about me. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm being distracted by my cats now at this point. So don't feel bad, my dude. Hang in there. And please, if you can, spread the good word. Zay Frank is a D-hole. He's a douchey McDouchebag. He could have, many times over put an end to my worry about this issue by simply having a straightforward conversation with me, just like you said. Even you said at one point, like, hey, guy, why didn't you just send me an email saying that you weren't cool with me showing this video or that video instead of sending me copyright strikes that would demonetize me? Yeah, he's that kind of a douchebag. He could have sent you some emails asking you, hey, please just don't show my videos, rather than giving you these copyright strikes that demonetize your channel. That's shitty. That's really shitty for him to do. Just in the same exact way, he could have sent me even an email from his, that I would recognize as being from him. It should be recognizable. And this is the thing, my dude, is you got to be careful not to leave loopholes in your words. They'll take advantage of loopholes any which way they can. They're devil worshippers, and they're the clever ones, So anyway, he could have sent me an email a long time ago from his zayfrank@gmail.com explaining, like, you're wrong, here's how you're wrong, or anything along those lines. He could have showed up at my door. I've given him permission and said, come here and have a conversation with me. I prefer the face-to-face conversation because I'm good at sussing out when people are lying to me or not being totally upfront, when I have a face-to-face conversation with them. Which is why I suspect he knows that. I suspect he's been having me watched, actually, and spied upon by some of his fellow cult members. And so I think he knows that I have a good sense of when people are lying to me in person, which is why he does not want to have a personal conversation with me. He does not want to be on the receiving end of my superpowers. Anyway, all right, just hang in there, my dude. I know, Zay Frank sucks. I know, he sucks so hard. He sucks monkey balls. He sucks big, hairy, sweaty monkey balls. You suck, Zay, really. Like, why are you picking on the little guy? It's so shitty of you.